Most people over 50 think their weak legs are the real problem. But the truth is often hiding somewhere else entirely. It starts quietly. You wake up in the morning, swing your legs over the side of the bed, and for a few seconds your body feels stiff, unstable, almost disconnected. Your lower back aches before your feet even touch the floor. Your knees feel heavy. Climbing stairs becomes slower. Standing up from a chair suddenly takes effort. And little by little, many people start believing this is simply part of getting older. But what if I told you that one of the biggest reasons this happens has nothing to do with age itself? What if the real issue is that one important muscle group has slowly gone to sleep over the years and almost nobody talks about it? I'm talking about your glutes. The muscles in your hips and backside are supposed to be some of the strongest muscles in the entire body. They help you stand, walk, balance, climb stairs, protect your knees, and even support your lower back. But after years of sitting, less movement, and natural muscle loss that comes with aging, these muscles often become weak and inactive. And when that happens, the rest of the body starts paying the price. That's why so many older adults feel unstable in the morning without realizing the real cause. And here's the surprising part. You don't need a gym. You don't need squats. You don't need expensive machines. And you don't even need to get out of bed. In fact, some of the safest and most effective movements for waking up these muscles can be done before you even stand up in the morning. Just 5 minutes, right there in bed, before your feet touch the floor. And for many seniors, this tiny morning habit becomes the difference between feeling stiff and weak, or feeling steady, confident, and strong throughout the day. But here's where the biggest mistake happens. Most people wait until pain becomes severe before they do anything about it. They ignore the warning signs for years. The tight hips, the shaky balance, the slower walking, the lower back discomfort, the difficulty getting up from low chairs. They think, I'm just getting older. But weakness doesn't appear overnight. It builds slowly, quietly, day after day. Think about how many hours the average person spends sitting, at the breakfast table, in the car, watching television, looking at a phone. Over time, the glutes become lazy because they're barely being used. And when those muscles stop helping, the body starts shifting pressure into places that were never designed to handle it. That's when the knees begin hurting more. That's when the lower back starts tightening. That's when balance becomes less reliable. And that's when simple daily tasks suddenly feel exhausting. You may have noticed this yourself. Maybe you hold on to furniture when you first stand up. Maybe you hesitate before taking the first few steps in the morning. Maybe your hips feel stiff after sleeping. Or maybe you avoid certain movements because you're afraid of falling. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. Millions of people over 50 experience this every single day. And many never realize that weak glutes are quietly involved in all of it. But something very interesting happens when these muscles are gently activated first thing in the morning. The body wakes up differently. The hips feel looser. Walking feels smoother. Balance improves. Pressure comes off the knees and lower back. Even posture can begin to change. And the best part is that these movements are gentle enough for beginners, for people with stiffness, and even for many seniors who haven't exercised in years. That's why doctors, physical therapists, and movement specialists often encourage simple activation exercises before the body fully starts the day. Because mornings matter more than most people realize. Your first movements of the day set the tone for everything that follows. And unfortunately, many seniors begin their mornings the worst possible way. They wake up stiff, immediately stand too quickly, place pressure on cold joints, and force weak muscles to suddenly support the body before they're ready. That's one reason mornings can feel so unstable. But what if your body could wake up gradually instead? What if before standing you could gently turn on the muscles that protect your hips, knees, and back? That's exactly what this simple 5-minute routine is designed to do. And one exercise in particular surprises almost everyone because it looks incredibly easy. Yet it activates muscles that many people haven't truly used in years. But most people do it wrong without even knowing. And that small mistake can completely cancel the benefits. In just a moment, we're going to talk about why these muscles become weak so quickly after 50, why walking alone often isn't enough to strengthen them, and the hidden everyday habits that silently make the problem worse without people realizing it. Because once you understand what's really happening inside the body, these simple morning movements suddenly make a lot more sense. One of the most frustrating things about getting older is how suddenly the body can start feeling unfamiliar. A person who once moved quickly and confidently may begin noticing small changes that seem to appear out of nowhere. The walk becomes slower. Standing for long periods becomes tiring. Even getting out of bed can feel like a challenge some mornings. And many people blame their age immediately. But the body is often responding to something much deeper. Something that has been building quietly for years. After the age of 50, the body naturally begins losing muscle mass. This happens slowly, but it accelerates when muscles stop being used regularly. And unfortunately, the glutes are often the first muscles to weaken because modern life keeps them inactive most of the day. Think about it carefully. When you sit for long periods, your glute muscles are basically turned off. Over time, the brain almost forgets how to fully activate them. Experts sometimes call this sleeping glutes. And while it sounds harmless, the effects can spread throughout the entire body. Because the glutes are not just there for appearance, they are stabilizers, shock absorbers, balance protectors. They help keep the pelvis aligned, support the spine, and control the hips while walking. When they weaken, other muscles are forced to overwork to compensate. That's when tight hips, sore knees, aching backs, and poor balance begin showing up more often. But here's something many seniors don't realize. Even if you walk every day, your glutes may still remain weak. That surprises many people because walking is healthy. And yes, walking is excellent for the heart, circulation, and overall movement. But slow daily walking alone often doesn't fully activate or strengthen the glute muscles enough, especially after years of inactivity. And this is where many older adults unknowingly fall into a cycle. They feel weaker, so they move less. They move less, so muscles weaken more. Then balance decreases. Then fear of falling increases. And slowly confidence disappears. But here's where the biggest mistake happens. Many people think they need intense exercise to fix the problem. They believe they must do painful squats, hard gym workouts, or exhausting routines. So instead of starting small, they become overwhelmed and do nothing at all. Meanwhile, the body keeps getting stiffer. The truth is, the nervous system responds beautifully to gentle consistency, especially in the morning. When you wake up, your muscles and joints have been inactive for hours. Blood flow is slower. Connective tissues are tighter. Balance systems are still waking up. That's why sudden movements first thing in the morning can feel uncomfortable or unstable. But gentle activation changes that. A simple movement done in bed can increase circulation, wake up sleepy muscles, and prepare the body to support itself more safely when standing. And this is important because falls often happen during moments of transition. Standing up too quickly, turning suddenly, walking while stiff, or moving before the body is fully ready. That's why these first few minutes after waking are more important than most people think. Now imagine two different mornings. In the first one, a person wakes up, immediately stands, feels stiff, grabs furniture for support, and shuffles carefully to the bathroom with tight hips and an aching back. In the second morning, the person spends just 5 minutes gently activating the glutes and hips before standing. Blood flow improves, the hips loosen. The muscles wake up gradually, standing feels steadier, walking feels smoother. The difference may seem small, but over weeks and months, it becomes enormous. And there's another hidden benefit nobody talks about enough. Strong glutes help reduce pressure on the knees. This matters because many older adults with knee discomfort unknowingly have weak hips and glutes contributing to the problem. When the hips lack strength, the knees often absorb extra stress during walking, standing, and climbing stairs. That's why some people notice their knees feel slightly better once they begin strengthening the muscles around the hips. And the lower back often benefits too. Many seniors stretch their back constantly, without realizing the real issue may actually begin lower down. Weak glutes force the lower back muscles to work harder to stabilize the body. Over time, that creates tension, fatigue, and discomfort. But once the glutes begin participating again, the body distributes effort more evenly. Suddenly, everyday movements require less strain. But there's something even more surprising: the emotional effect. Because weakness doesn't only affect the body. It affects confidence. People stop trusting themselves physically. They become cautious, hesitant, fearful of falling, fearful of pain, fearful of losing independence. And that fear changes daily life. Some stop traveling, some stop exercising, some avoid stairs. Some even stop enjoying activities they once loved. All because the body no longer feels dependable. That's why small daily routines matter so much. They restore something deeper than strength. They restore trust in your own body again. And in the next part, we're going to walk through the gentle 5-minute glute routine itself, step by step, including the simple movements that can safely wake up your hips, improve circulation, reduce stiffness, and help you feel more stable before your day even begins. And one of these movements is so simple that many people underestimate it completely until they realize how powerful it actually feels after just a few days. Type continue for next part. Now imagine this, the alarm goes off in the morning. Instead of rushing to stand up immediately, you stay in bed for just a few extra minutes. Not to scroll through your phone. Not to lie there worrying about the day ahead. But to wake your body up gently and intentionally. This small change may look insignificant at first. But for many people over 50, it becomes one of the most important habits of the entire day. Because the body responds differently when it feels prepared instead of shocked awake. The first movement is incredibly simple. Before even sitting up, lie on your back with your knees bent comfortably and your feet resting flat on the bed. Then gently squeeze your glutes together as if you are trying to hold a small object between them. Hold for a few seconds, then relax. That's it, simple, gentle, almost too easy. But this tiny movement begins reconnecting the brain to muscles that may have been inactive for years. And here's what many people notice almost immediately. They suddenly realize how difficult it is to fully contract those muscles. Some feel one side working more than the other. Some barely feel the muscles activate at all. That alone tells you how disconnected the glutes may have become over time. But don't worry, that's normal. The goal is not perfection. The goal is awakening. And after repeating this several times slowly, blood flow begins increasing through the hips and lower body. The stiffness starts easing little by little. But here's where the biggest mistake happens. People rush through the movement too quickly. They squeeze hard for 1 second and immediately release. But slow activation matters more than force. Gentle control is what wakes these muscles up safely. Now comes the next movement. While staying on your back, slowly lift your hips a few inches off the bed into a gentle bridge position. Not high, not aggressively. Just enough to feel the glutes helping lift the body. Then slowly lower back down. This movement is powerful because it teaches the glutes to support the hips again. It also encourages circulation through the lower back and pelvis after hours of lying still during sleep. And many seniors are surprised by something here. Their legs try to do all the work instead of the glutes. That's very common. If you mostly feel pressure in your thighs or lower back, it usually means the glutes are still learning to activate again. Over time, that improves. And remember, small controlled movements are far more important than height or intensity. Even lifting slightly can create benefits. Now, after several gentle bridges, the body often starts feeling warmer and looser. This is when another important movement comes in. Slow knee drops. Keeping your knees bent, gently let both knees fall slightly to one side, then return to center, then to the other side. Slow and controlled. This movement helps loosen the hips and lower spine while improving mobility that many people gradually lose with age. And this matters more than people think. Because stiffness creates hesitation. Hesitation changes movement. And altered movement increases fall risk over time. That's why maintaining hip mobility is so important for staying independent later in life. But there's another part many people ignore completely. Breathing. Most seniors unknowingly hold their breath during movement, especially if they feel stiff or uncomfortable. But relaxed breathing helps the nervous system feel safe. It reduces tension and allows muscles to activate more naturally. So during these movements, slow breathing matters. Inhale gently through the nose. Exhale slowly as the muscles tighten or move. It sounds simple, but it changes how the body responds. And here's something fascinating. Many older adults report feeling mentally calmer after this routine too. That's because slow movement early in the morning signals safety to the nervous system. Instead of beginning the day stressed and tense, the body starts from a calmer state. Now let's talk about another habit that quietly weakens glutes even faster. Sitting immediately after breakfast. Many seniors wake up, sit for breakfast, then remain seated for hours afterward. That means the glutes barely activate at all during the first half of the day. Instead, after finishing this short routine and safely standing up, even a short walk around the house helps reinforce those muscle signals. Nothing intense. Nothing exhausting. Just movement. And nutrition plays a role too. Muscles need protein to maintain strength as we age. Yet many older adults unintentionally eat far too little protein throughout the day. Eggs, yogurt, fish, beans, nuts, and lean meats can all help support muscle maintenance when combined with regular movement. Hydration matters too. Dehydrated muscles tighten more easily and fatigue faster. Even mild dehydration can increase feelings of stiffness and weakness in older adults. And sleep matters more than many realize, because muscles repair during rest. Poor sleep often leads to worse stiffness, less energy, and slower recovery. That's why healthy aging is never about one single exercise. It's about small daily habits working together consistently, and consistency is the secret most people overlook. Not intensity. Not perfection, consistency. 5 gentle minutes every morning may not sound life-changing. But done every day for weeks and months, the body begins adapting. Movements feel smoother. Standing feels easier. Confidence slowly returns. And perhaps most importantly, fear begins shrinking. Because when people feel stronger, they start living differently. But there are still a few hidden mistakes and warning signs seniors need to know before starting this routine. Especially if certain movements cause discomfort in ways many people ignore. And the final tip may be the most important one of all because it has nothing to do with exercise. Yet it affects nearly every person over 50. There's something many people never say out loud as they get older. Sometimes it's not the pain that scares them most. It's the loss of confidence, the fear of falling, the fear of becoming dependent, the fear of feeling trapped inside a body that no longer responds the way it once did. And those fears often begin quietly. A missed step. A shaky moment getting out of bed. Holding onto walls while walking. Avoiding stairs. Avoiding long outings. Avoiding movement altogether. Little by little, life becomes smaller. That's why simple routines like this matter so much more than people realize. They are not just exercises. They are daily reminders to your body that it is still capable of moving, supporting you, and carrying you through life safely. But there are important warnings people should never ignore. If any movement causes sharp pain, numbness, dizziness, or severe discomfort, the body may be signaling that something deeper needs medical attention. Gentle muscle fatigue is normal. Mild stiffness can improve with movement. But sharp or worsening pain should never be pushed through. And here's another hidden danger many seniors accidentally create. They stay inactive because they're afraid of pain. But inactivity often creates even more weakness and stiffness over time. The body was designed to move. Even gentle movement sends powerful signals to the muscles, joints, circulation, and brain. Without movement, the body begins adapting to stillness instead. Balance declines faster. Muscles shrink faster. Energy drops faster. That's why small daily actions matter so much. Not because they create overnight transformation, but because they protect your future. And here's a bonus tip most people never hear. When getting out of bed after this routine, avoid jumping up quickly. Roll gently to your side first. Push yourself up slowly. Sit for a moment and allow your balance to settle before standing. This tiny habit alone may reduce sudden dizziness and instability that many older adults experience in the morning. Another helpful trick is keeping supportive shoes or non-slip slippers beside the bed. Walking barefoot on slippery floors first thing in the morning can increase fall risk more than many realize, especially when muscles and joints are still stiff. And there's one more thing people often overlook completely. Your mindset. Many seniors begin speaking negatively about their bodies every single day. I'm too old. My body is falling apart. I can't do what I used to. But the brain listens carefully to those words. Healthy aging does not mean pretending you're 25 again. It means supporting the body you have now with patience, consistency, and kindness. Because the body still responds to care at every age. Muscles can still strengthen. Balance can still improve. Mobility can still increase. Confidence can still return. Even small improvements can completely change daily life. Being able to stand more comfortably. Walking with less fear. Getting through the day with less stiffness. Feeling steady while carrying groceries. Playing with grandchildren without worrying about balance. Those moments matter deeply. And often, they begin with very small habits repeated consistently over time. That's why this 5-minute morning routine is so powerful. It doesn't overwhelm the body. It works with it, gently, safely, gradually. And for many people over 50, that is exactly what the body needs most. So tomorrow morning before you stand up, before you rush into the stress of the day, give your body 5 minutes of care first. Your hips, knees, lower back, balance, and confidence may thank you more than you expect. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who struggles with stiffness, weak legs, or balance problems in the morning. Sometimes one simple habit can change the direction of someone's health completely, because getting older is unavoidable. But feeling weak and helpless every morning does not have to be